My name's Geoff, and I want to share a little bit about a time of loss in my life and the grief that followed, but perhaps more importantly, to share how I was able to move on from that. The loss that I'm referring to was the loss of my father, which was almost 40 years ago. But the grief and pain that resulted from that was long lasting. At the time, I knew that we were about to lose my father, but what was kept from both my brother and I was the extent of his illness, to the point where I was about to leave on holiday on a Saturday, but what was kept from me was that he wasn't expected to live beyond the Friday, and indeed he didn't. So I think largely because of that, the pain around the loss was really extreme. I wasn't able to say goodbye to my dad, or indeed say the things to him that I really wanted to say, most important of which was just how much that I loved him. So it really was a time of tremendous pain. And for me, it was long lasting. I don't think there's any such thing as you need to get over grief in 2 years, 3 years, whatever. It lasts as long as it does. And in my case, as an example, I attended for a company medical 20 years to the day after I lost him. And I was asked questions about the family health, including that of my dad. And quite simply, I cracked up. My grief was still with me. But at least I had become comfortable with the feeling that it didn't matter how long it lasted. It lasts as long as it lasts. However, I decided that I really wanted to be able to move forward in some way, and therefore what I decided to do was something that was really positive, which would remember him, but also something which would challenge me. So what I decided to do was to run a marathon, specifically with his name on my back. And sure enough, as I was approaching the 25th anniversary of his loss, I was able to gain a place in the London Marathon. And from a standing start, 7 months later, ran it in just over 4 hours. And at the end of it, it really did feel like it was all about my dad and how I had been able to do it in his memory. And the most important thing about it was that it enabled me to move forward. Now, I don't think that in doing something positive, it needs to be something as extreme as running a marathon. As an example, my daughter bakes a birthday cake in memory of her grandmother on her grand's birthday every single year. But for me, that was the way that I chose to do it. It did enable me to move forward. There was new hope and new joy in my life, and new chapters opened up. I was able to move forward with my grief.